What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch in the Rube, our Friday afternoon show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook. Download the all-new Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook. Upgraded, it looks fantastic. Easier user interface. I like the old one, but they had heard a lot of feedback that it wasn't as user-friendly as some others. I think this one is now. Again, download the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook and play the games, bet the games we're betting. Get your football season futures in, whatever it might be. Soccer, you want golf bets this weekend? Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook. Jason, how you doing, brother?
It's the American way, except America has gotten soft.
Go out there, play hard, stick your cleats so far up their asses that they've got to use the cleats to brush their teeth with.
What's up, buddy? How many days till football?
It's getting close.
Chad Latz is firing me up for football.
6 weeks, maybe? Something like that?
Yeah, you can't do it by 6 weeks, though. You got to give me days. Like, I have to, right?
Yeah.
There's some people that give you, like, the month, and then, like, I need, like, the days. Under 60 days, then I start, it's close. We're getting close.
What's interesting about the way football season hits is it hits like, it feels like a long way off, then it feels short, and then training camp starts for college and pro, and then it feels long again because training camp and the preseason feels long. Like the first preseason games, we love seeing football on TV.
Hall of Fame game coming up at the end of the month, right? The Lions are in this one.
We're excited about it for a minute. By the second preseason game, everybody's like, all right, enough of this shit. Let's get on to the
first Lions preseason game.
Big night.
Gracias, señor. Vamos, Lions.
Yeah.
Vamos, Lions.
Hell yeah. July 31st. And then the next one's just like, all right, that's not, when's the season start?
Yeah. I think we've got some good Groovy Donut questions from our listeners today. Should be a fun show. A good mix of MSU football, basketball, Tigers, Lions, some life stuff, some media feud type stuff. It should be good.
Media feud? Oh, no. I can't handle coverage. A media feud. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, a media feud, too. We get a little into the old Ebling Stout, and we get into some Ebling Mad Dog. It's good. This would be good for the over 60.
I hope that show happens.
The over 65 crowd.
God damn, I hope that show happens. Ebling Mad Dog, I'm tuning in. Yeah.
I would. Have they ever done a show together? Because they were on the same.
Yeah, I don't think so. They went. Honestly, if you want to go back and listen to the Mad Dog Ebling interview that was happening, I think it was last week, but they did mention they almost did work with each other when it was the local 92.1 station when Valenti was still in town. That's how long ago it was.
Okay.
Like, we almost got together then. Like, no, you didn't. You guys despised each other then. What are you talking about?
Can you imagine the two of them, like just the amount of airtime that would be needed? You could have a guest.
Mad Dog needs his own mic.
Yeah.
And Ebling talks too slow. Like, old school Mad Dog, where he's like firing on all B12 shots.
Yeah.
Is not going to be able to compete with Ebling's monotone style. It doesn't work.
Nothing like a podcast that opens with a bit on two guys that most of our listeners haven't heard of talking about old school Lansing radio.
Hey, it's July, baby. Yeah. These shows are for us.
Before we dig into your Groovy Donut Twitter questions, what we are betting this weekend presented by our friends at Firekeepers in the all-new Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Obviously, a lot of golf bets we gave out the other day.
Absolutely.
How are your golf bets doing, and what are your plans for the weekend?
My outright winner is currently leading at 9 under, Matt Fitzpatrick, who I sprinkled on, and I was trying to beg you guys to do as well at 55-1. So I'll definitely be sweating him. All of my guys, I got to say, even with my DK lineups that I did, I'm going to have one guy miss the cut. I did 2 DraftKings lineups, and Patrick Reed, he's going to shit the bed and miss the cut. So I'm kind of feeling strong. The other guys, the top 30s, top 40s, they're a little lower, but they're going to make the cut. So there's going to be a lot of invested time this weekend in the golf tournament, the Open.
Yeah, I went heavy on Scotty Scheffler, and I don't feel bad about it. I got him at plus 460 before the tournament, which is a good price for him. Sometimes you don't even get that with him, and it just
which is crazy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
To let people know that don't gamble on golf, plus 460 pre-tournament is fucking wild.
Pretty low. Yeah.
Because Fitzpatrick was playing as hot as anyone in golf right now, and he was 55 to 1. So it's just,
and he's still playing as hot as anyone in golf. I mean,
true.
That was a great pick by you. I'll probably bet some Mexican soccer over the weekend if there's something I really like. Kind of like, I don't.
Well, hold on. I mean, we got baseball's back.
It's time for the Detroit Tigers Gambling Update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Nick.
I mean, the babyface assassin Reese Olson's on the mound tonight at the Rangers. The Rangers are, 500.
So I have great Tigers futures bets, and I just don't want to keep eating into that.
Yeah.
And right, every time I bet the Tigers or the under, the win, whatever it is, they don't cover. They don't do it. They're just eating into my bet.
Especially after the All-Star break. You kind of want to, right?
I'm gonna let
we want to jump in. We want to see where they're at.
I want to see I want to make sure this isn't a skid. I want to make sure this isn't like a. And the thing
Let's
is,
see you boys hit first. I guess.
And if they win a little, and I'm not losing anything because I.
Yeah, but those futures, man, they're cashing. So
they're 100% cash.
You're confident now.
Yeah, 100% cashing. Over 83.5 wins, win the division, make the playoffs. Have all three, and so I'm excited about that. That is what we're betting this weekend, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino, the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. You can download the app, or you can head down to Dacey's Tap Room and Sportsbook in Battle Creek off I-94. It's an unbelievable in-house sportsbook experience. But I'm telling you, the new Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook, worth downloading, worth checking out, worth playing around with, opening an account if you've never done so, and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook. Are we ready to dig into these Groovy Donut Twitter questions?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Travis Maynard up first. After the Gavin Schilling injury year, Tom Izzo told me he'd never be caught undersized and undermanned ever again. With the Caleb Glenn injury, it feels like we're an ankle away from being in trouble. What's your take on MSU basketball's depth? Is this the year the bench gets shorter? Maybe that's good.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't compare. I don't compare this to that year that they got caught without a big man, and it's happened to them a little bit before. But I do think the Caleb Glenn injury certainly it takes away one guy that we were intrigued about seeing, a guy who was potentially a good 3-point shooter, a physical wing. There's no doubt that that's a valuable player for Michigan State if he's as good as they hoped he would be. Losing him alone, as long as other players work out, I don't think is that big a hit. We talk about one more sprained ankle. I do think this is a year where, it depends who that sprained ankle is. Is it Cohen Carr? I think that makes a big difference, right? I think they need Trey Fort to be healthy and play well. So I think their depth is different this year. That there are some guys that you would see a noticeable drop-off if there was an injury. But I think that was the case last year. Like, they talked about strength in numbers, but there were guys who, when they, changed who they were and were parts of their identity even when, they couldn't lose Jace Richardson, for example. And I think if they had lost Jackson Kohler, for example, because of the way he became, what he became as a rebounder and the consistency of that, and that would have been felt right away. I do think the depth will look different. I still think it's going to be, 9-10 deep this year, though. I mean, let's just go through it. They're going to start. They're going to play Jeremy Fears at the point. They're going to play Divine at the is the backup point. They're going to play Trey Fort as the starting 2, and they're going to play Kurt Tang as the backup 2. Right. So right there, you're 4 deep at the 2 guard positions. You're going to play Cohen Carr as the starting wing. Cam Ward will be interesting. Is wing 4 where he's at, but he's going to play. Jackson Kohler's obviously going to play. Carson Cooper's going to play. I think Jesse McCulloch's going to play. And so there is depth. I think there are a couple guys, in question, but not. I think they're going to be pretty deep. And will the minutes be as balanced as they were a year ago? I don't know that yet, but I think they're 9-10 deep again this year. And the question is, are they as good?
Back to the white elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
Dominic next. Has your sloppy pizza eating friend reached out to you since you doxed him over being a pig? In your defense, though, I struggled with Bell's Pizza after watching my stoner buddy have pepperoni grease all over his face back in 2003.
See, it happens, like it's just, you got to be careful who you eat with.
And what time? I mean, come on. 3 a.m. at Bell's Pizza. Get a little slack.
Yeah.
You know?
No, my buddy has not reached out. I don't think he listens, fortunately. But I would not.
Great friend.
But no, but he's well aware of how I mean, I told him. Yeah, I mean, I've told him since how much that turned me off pizza. It's the only thing ever to turn me off pizza. Like, I'm addicted to pizza. I mean, it actually would be a good anti-addiction tool if you can see something that's just so disgusting. I mean, the reason I didn't eat Oreo cookies for 17 years was that I ate a whole cookie jar full of them when my parents were on a walk when I was 12 years old, and I threw them all up over my baseball cards and other things in my bedroom on the floor and everywhere.
So what made you a Chips Ahoy guy? Like,
yeah, it didn't.
You're acting as if like you just don't eat cookies.
It didn't create discipline in food. It just said I'm not going to eat Oreos because
Damn, dude, no Oreos for 17 years.
But it's like having a 12-year-old smoke a cigarette so they never smoke, or something like that. Just turning people. It's
like when I had a sip of beer when I was 8 years old, and I was like, oh my god, that tastes gross.
Scared straight.
Never
so
be
to
me.
speak. Yeah. That was that was a by the way, a story worth telling. Presented though by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing, an awesome place for a beer this weekend, including like Fridays, 3 to 7 p.m. All cocktails are $2 off during the Friday happy hour, including the special strawberry mojito. Just a great menu, great summer menu, mix of good comfort foods, but also lighter dishes, and their chef just does a great job there. And of course, everybody's some of my favorite beers on tap are there at the Midtown Brewery.
Is there anybody that you like watching them eat though? Like I hate watching people eat, like at movie theaters when the previews and people are snacking on their snacks. Like it gets really quiet in the theater. It gives me the skeevies.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, it's just like to your buddy, kind of defending him there. Like everybody kind of eats kind of gross.
Right. You may not like eating next to somebody, but like
chew with their mouth open guy. Like
but usually
that's
you don't.
Offensive
usually you don't leave the meal disgusted by the food because of the way they ate. Usually you're disgusted by them. Like it's a different kind of thing for you to be.
It's such a heavy thing to put on somebody. I just don't eat pizza anymore because of you.
Yeah,
because of your face. Dominic, if a prostitute asks you to be a reference for her as she applies to be a streetwalker elsewhere, do you say no because of the whoring behavior she displayed? Or do you have to say yes so she can move on to the street corners far, far away? Asking for a friend. And I'm not that. And I am that friend. He is that friend.
It's what you want to get out of this,
Well, you want the whore to get away.
Right.
So get the whore out of here.
So whatever that takes.
Yeah.
Lie if you have to is the reference. Yeah.
I don't even know if you have to lie. I mean, if you're going out to be another whore to move on to another street, do you have to really embellish that much?
That's fair.
Yeah. Dominic, has Graham ever said, maybe we'll do that, and ever done the thing in his life? Once.
Trying to think.
King of string-alongs.
Yeah.
This guy.
A lot of things sound good.
No, we'll do that. No. What's that, golf tournament? Couch Center golf tournament? Yeah, we'll do that. Mm-hmm. NFL contest? Yep. Prizes? Oh, no.
Yeah, it's fair. No, I'm sure there are things. I just can't think of them.
What time do you want to do the show? 1 o'clock? I'll be there.
These are different.
No,
you just, yeah, okay.
Dominic, do you think if Mad Dog wanted to, he could have the juice to go head-to-head with Ebling and win the ratings war? The math says that would involve Mad Dog getting 9 listeners.
That would be a fun ratings war. I don't know.
Dude, it would be the time of my life.
Watching the two go head-to-head, duke it out.
I don't know. Just Mad Dog involved in any of it. I mean,
yeah.
I have to say, it'd be fascinating.
Yeah, it would be.
And by the way, no one knew really like Hondo who he was, so I think we could talk about Mad Dog. I mean, people have the Google. You can look him up if you want.
And we had Mad Dog on the show once, and it was.
Yep.
It was once.
It was, yeah. I don't know. Do we need to go back and listen to it?
No.
Maybe.
No, it's like. God,
tag it at the end of the show.
Like I can't remember if I always think at the time we had Solari on and we couldn't get him off the show. Like we couldn't, but we were doing like hard out commercials back then, and I couldn't.
I think it was because Mad Dog just wanted to swear, like because he did regular terrestrial AM radio, so he came on here wanting to f word around it.
I think the most interesting thing was Mad Dog just assumed that all our listeners knew who he was. It felt like that.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if you were Mad Dog, yeah.
If you went by the name Mad Dog,
fair.
I mean, I would figure everybody knows me in the Lansing area. Greater Lansing. All right, maybe. What old person habit has snuck up on you?
I like to have a sit.
What does that mean?
Like, I like to sit.
Like Pablo Escobar, like staring out on the on the swing set thing?
Yeah,
like you're just staring off, or you're looking at your phone?
Just have a sit. Yeah, we've been walking a while. I like to have a sit. Like we're out and about. I want to sit. Let's have a sit. A sit sounds like a good time to me.
Are we shooting the shit, or how long do we have to?
We can have ice cream. We can shoot the shit. But I just like to have a sit, whatever it is. That's definitely.
And that's an old person thing.
Well, I mean, it wasn't me when I was younger. I didn't like to have sits as much. Do you have any?
Going to bed early. I think getting this Apple Watch has made me addicted to looking down and them telling me that great job on getting 7 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. I like to go to bed at like 10. Like it's really lame.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of this.
But thankfully, like none of the driving like shit and driving real slow, old people stuff has snuck up on me. It never will.
There's a lot of me is still hanging on to youth. Like I'm trying. Like. I'm
okay with the age.
I know, but
I feel good. This is the best I've ever felt. So it's like
I'm still saying, like recreational sports wise, still trying to do everything I once did. Like all that stuff. I'm playing softball. I just got an injection into my hip the other day, so I could because I had some tendinitis in a glute, and I was like, this can't be. Like I can't. I gotta get back. So and I'm willing to do all.
Shoot me up.
If this doesn't work, they're sending me to Europe for like the Kobe Bryant treatments. Where they. Not the helicopter.
Oh, in Germany?
Jesus. Yeah.
God damn. Why'd you got to bring up the helicopter and Kobe, man?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Rest in peace. That still hits hard. Maybe. Would you party with your boss or bosses?
So this is, what this is about. Did you see this the other day with the...
Oh, my God. It's the only thing I fucking heard about.
Okay.
My wife is all over it, the Coldplay,
the
CEOs, because she talks to a lot of those people in those higher up positions, so she's fascinated.
So, CEO of a company was at a Coldplay concert, and he had his arms around his HR director, and both of them were married to other people. And the big screen, the whatever it is, the
jumbotron,
they get put on the jumbotron, and if they hadn't panicked, they would have been fine. But it's the level of panic. It's like, oh my God, they're on the jumbotron. One spins around, one like drops down, and if they had just acted normal. I don't know if anybody would have known anything about it.
I thought they were embarrassed because they were Coldplay fans.
That would have been funny if that's what it wound up. If it would have been funny if that was actually a husband and wife and they were married and they were like, oh, shit, we just got busted at a Coldplay concert.
But wait a minute. You're up in a box. Now, apparently there was other coworkers in the box. And they were, so are they really trying to hide it, obviously, from their significant others because the people you work with meet your significant others. So
that's what's brazen about it. Well, there's a lot that's brazen about it. But that's what's really bad is in a sense, you're putting these other people who know you're married, like, and know you're cheating on your spouse openly. You're putting them in a tough spot. Like that's kind of bullshit. Like you want to do your own thing. Like whatever. That's everybody should live their life. And I wouldn't suggest you should cheat on your spouse. What I'm saying is like, what you do behind closed doors is your business. But when you do something like that, like with other coworkers who know that's not your spouse, who you have children with, and other things like that, just I don't know. But to the question. From Michelle, from maybe me here, I would absolutely party with my bosses and have. I mean, they were at my wedding. I've partied them at like gatherings, like holiday parties, and Joe Rexroad had 14 going away parties before his ass finally moved, and one of them I remember being at, and with all of them, and so
what a LSJ throwdown.
They're great. I have good bosses, and they're fun to hang with. And the other thing we don't do is bring our mistresses and people we're cheating with to these events. That's what we don't. I mean,
because you'd have to have someone attracted to you to want to do that.
Well, that's fair. But some of these people are attractive. My bosses might be.
Who's whiter, the Izzone or the LSJ staff?
Oh, the Izzone.
Woof. I don't know. Unless those photos are updated since I've put them in my digital frame.
Look, I'm not saying
I don't know.
I'm not saying we are winning with diversity, but we have.
I don't even know if you guys are placing in the top 10. Well, it is the whitest staff I've ever seen. Again, unless it's that you guys have updated your staff since.
Yeah, we have at least
one. Do you have at least one?
3 minorities on our staff. We only have like 8 people on our staff anymore. So like it's not that. At least
LSJ's a staff of. I thought you guys were like 75 strong.
We're not that big anymore.
Oh
no, we're speaking more in the dozens range in these days in the newsroom at least. So yeah. compared to the Izzone is like a freaking Klan rally. I mean, it's just. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Fix that in post. Sorry.
Jake, next. All right. We always joke about July topics, but I genuinely want to know your guys' answers to these July topics since it's July. Number 1, Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, yes or no? 2, what is your Detroit athlete Mount Rushmore, historically and in your lifetime? And 3, the go-to type of pizza.
All right, let's hit number 1. Pete Rose, Hall of Fame, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
How can you sit there and have all of the gambling stuff surrounding not only sports, but in baseball, telling me all about parlays and who this and that, and not have Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame?
And the thing is,
he's dead.
And you could
let him in.
Well, even before, you could have acknowledged that you could have banned him from baseball and still put him in the Hall of Fame. You don't have to like approve of what he did or not ban. Like the Hall of Fame to me, you're talking about the all-time hit king. You're talking about one of the greatest of all time. Like
what he did on the field.
Yes.
If you want to have a little asterisk, thing or plate in there or plaque or whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good about it, put him in the Hall of Fame.
Detroit athlete, and you could have it so he didn't get to. I mean, even when he was alive, like I think doing it when he's dead is less effective. I mean, it's kind of an extra kicking the balls, but you could have had it where he got inducted but wasn't able to give a speech. He was just inducted, part of the class, but wasn't actually able to be. That would have been something. All right, Detroit athlete Mount Rushmore. So we're talking 4 people. If you have 4 people, Detroit athlete Mount Rushmore.
Isaiah,
Barry Sanders,
easy. Yep.
So those are 2. Do you have to go with one from every sport, or do we go from?
Well, you have to go Tigers. Somebody.
Yeah.
I mean,
who is the
in
Tiger?
our lifetime? Is it? I mean, I would put Ernie Harwell up there, but I know he's not a player. But he was definitely a guy I associate with the glory days because in 1984 I was 5 years old, so I can't sit there and. I loved Trammell and Whitaker when I was a kid. I guess you could put either Whitaker or Trammell up there.
Trammer's got to go together.
Yeah.
It's a good question with who the Tiger.
Iserman. It's got to go. You have to have Iserman up there.
Okay.
He's got to be one of the guys.
So if it's Iserman, and then it's
can we have Trammell? Can we have like a half head?
Iserman over Gordie Howe.
Well, yeah. I guess I'm saying my lifetime. I guess.
Historically and in your life.
You could go. Yeah, I would not be mad at you if you went with Gordie Howe, legend. I mean, obviously.
So here's what I would also say: if you're doing in your lifetime, the '84 Tigers. One of the things that sucks about that for me is that I don't remember them. I was 4 or 5 years old, and I remember things around then, but I don't remember. I remember like my kindergarten crush, but I don't remember the Tigers winning the freaking World Series somehow.
But you remember the 80s with Trammell and Whitaker and going to Tiger Stadium and going to those games.
And
so you can
Cecil Fielder was a huge star for me in the early 90s, but that's a moment in time when you're a teenager. You could, the Verlanders come into, Miguel Cabrera maybe is it. They didn't win a World Series.
I thought about Miggy, but the fat years and plus, I mean, listen, unbelievable player when he was here, Triple Crown winner,
about
but
Iserman's
almost
got
back-to-back.
Iserman's got the GM years. Does that take him out of
valid?
Valid. I mean, I think it's tricky, and the question is if you just, I think Barry is still it. What'll get interesting though is, and we talk about my lifetime. One of the reasons it's easier to go, I would say Miguel Cabrera, best hitter I've ever seen, and also I don't remember the Tigers' previous World Series. If the Lions are to win a Super Bowl, though, this becomes an interesting discussion because Barry to me is like Barry's Barry. He's there, except now if you've got like who would be the face of this Lions era right now?
It's our core foundation, man.
Dan Campbell,
DC.
Yeah, Dan Campbell.
Yep.
Dan Campbell might
put his face right up there.
Yeah, I think Dan Campbell would replace Stevie Y.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that would be my go-to type of pizza.
Detroit style. I mean, it's easy. I defend Detroit style. It's one of my favorite out of the when I have to go to the in-laws in Illinois and I tell them how shitty their pizza is.
Yeah.
Detroit style. It's the best.
I like a lot. Whatever's right in front of me. I'll be honest. Because I was struggling with this. I was thinking about this when I saw this quite a bit. It's really what's ever right.
What's your top 2 then?
I mean, I do love Detroit style. I love deep dish, but I love a thin crisp too. I love a good pan pizza. I mean, it's
Couch would be the easiest to take his pizza order.
Well, that's the problem.
Can I just get 5 slices or whatever?
If I'm in a group where they order pizza, I don't want to be the one making the decisions because other people are far more picky than me. Like I like a pickle pizza from Sleepwalker in Rio Town. It's great if you haven't done it.
All right, Chris Eastlick. Did we really need more McAfee invading our lives at the Home Run Derby?
A lot of people don't like him. I don't mind McAfee, and I like him in certain settings, but there is a case of oversaturation.
That goes for anybody.
Yeah, and I think they're reaching it with McAfee, and they need to be a little careful because what you don't want to do is lose the effectiveness and the allure of people enjoying him where he's good. I think he's really good on College Game Day. I don't watch his show daily, but a lot of people do. And if he does the daily show and he's doing Game Day, I think that's the sweet spot. I think when you start bringing him into everything, and some people like him in the WWE stuff, that's fine, whatever you like him in. But this,
McAfee makes sense. Like when we talk about Skip Bayless, I can't find one Skip Bayless fan, but
Correct.
McAfee has a lot of fans, and I, like you said, I understand it. I don't watch him whatsoever. I don't really, the game day stuff, I can't really tolerate any of that pre-game stuff anyway. So I thought he did a good job at the Home Run Derby, doing the whole introductions and stuff like that. I feel as long as you keep it to that, but you just have to watch out for the Stephen A. syndrome where you just put a guy anywhere just because. And does he fit in that element?
Yeah.
And McAfee, I feel like he can fit into more of that stuff because he sensationalizes a lot of the events that he's at. Stephen A. is just sitting there and he's showing up and he's tired because he's doing 16-hour days. And you're like, is he doing politics now? Like, what the hell is going on? So,
you know what you never get sick of? Donuts.
Couch in the Roof.
Donuts. Well, Couch in the Roof is an easy thing to get sick of. Groovy Donuts. You never get sick of. And Groovy Donuts this week has 3 new donut flavors dropping. The Cherry Mojito, the Cherry Lime Lemonade Fritter, and the Pina Colada Old Fashioned. All available right now at groovydonuts.com. Place an order today. Swing on by either location. That's Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing and also in Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. Look, it brightens your weekend. It brightens your day. And if you're going anywhere and you're just going to see a friend, going to a gathering, going into the office, if you bring Groovy Donuts, no matter what people think of you, they'll appreciate that you're there. And they may even change how they think of you. Even if you're a complete ass or annoying or whatever it may be, Groovy Donuts is here to help that, to bring joy to people. And it's just, if you've had other donuts other places, the Groovy Donuts difference, it's noticeable. The quality's there, and people will ask where you got the donuts from if you bring Groovy Donuts to any gathering. groovydonuts.com.
Kurt Wisniewski next. First Gus, then Klatt. Now Dave Portnoy on Big Ten noon Saturday. Come on. Might as well add Desmond. Smart by Fox, though. I thought that was very smart. I honestly, Portnoy going there really means that you're not going to watch any pregame Big Noon Saturday stuff. Like, I don't mind Barstool stuff. I don't really pay attention to a lot of it. I think it's amazing what Portnoy has done with that Barstool brand and company and all that stuff.
He's hustled.
But my God, I cannot. Again, smart for Fox. I thought it was a brilliant move from what they had, that terrible programming they used to have on. So
it is a lot of Michigan. It'll depend how he does there. And again, if you're Big Noon, you're trying to make a dent in ESPN, which has done the McAfee thing. This is your McAfee, is what you're trying to do. I don't know if he'll be good or how good it'll be, and maybe it'll work for them. I don't watch Big Noon, so that's their problem. They have is like I don't usually watch either one of the shows because I'm headed to a stadium somewhere, or even if Michigan State doesn't play at noon anymore, they usually play at night. It goes up against Premier League soccer, which it's just not. There's no competition. But when I do watch one of them, I'm watching Game Day, and I think that's the problem Fox has in a lot of its stuff. And so like this is an attempt to draw a new audience, and Portnoy has loyal followers who will watch.
Kurt Wisniewski, Levy will add a ton of value to the Spartan Stadium concessions. What would you like to see on the menu, Graham and J. Nick?
Groovy Donuts.
Yeah,
plain and simple. They want to be in there, and you want to win me over, Groovy Donuts.
And it's not because they're a great sponsor and great friends of ours, but like it's for sure. Come on, you'd want it.
It's value. It's something different. Yeah, it's we talk about the melting moments. If I could get a Groovy Donut and a melting moment on a Saturday,
and a slice of pizza,
that'd be pretty happy.
Heaven.
Yeah, there you go.
No, you can't do your own voice. Jebediah Jason, did you know Hondo lives in Ovid? Bet having Hondo as your neighbor wasn't on your 2025 bingo card. Oh, because I love the 2025 bingo card. There's a lot of guys that look like Hondo in Ovid. That is for sure. Especially the one where the picture that I have on the digital frame of Graham and Rex Road with Hondo wearing whatever the fuck outfit he was wearing.
I thought the rodeo we did? Yeah.
The bibs with speaking of Jebediah, he had the Jebediah beard, the hat. Oh, what a picture. Anyway, the Hondo Carpenter of Southern Maine next. What does it say about the quality of my character that I was live betting a midweek USL League One match? Hearts of Pine got the result, so that makes up for losing money.
It says you're smart because let me tell you this. The money to be made is not in the biggest events. It is in knowing the smaller leagues well. Now, if you're just doing it because there's nothing else on and this is a dead week and there's a USL League One match and so you throw some money on it, that's not smart because you don't know either how that's going to happen. But it's like if you want to make money on tennis, it's not betting Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, French Open, Australian Open. It's betting, this week in some random town somewhere where there's 3 events. One's a clay, or there's 3 events this week, 2 clay events, and 1 in Mexico on the hard court. Those 3 events, that's where the value is. It's knowing those events. It's the same with mid-major basketball, if you really know it well, or USL League One soccer. It says good things about you. It says you care about your finances, is what it says. This is a heady financial move right here, betting on USL League One matches as long as you're doing your research.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
Sparty Barb next. Who in the hell is Liz Frank? I hear Jason reference this name to foot injuries. Who is this person and why do they represent impending doom? Get that bitch out of here, yeah. Liz.
It's the name of a very specific foot injury. And it's
one that only happens in Michigan State basketball.
Yeah. And it's not actually spelled like Liz Frank, like you would Liz and Frank. It's LISFRIN or FRANC, like a French franc, like so. 10.
So like Liz Frank,
like 10 francs may save my pork Cosette. That would be, it involves it's a serious foot injury. It's not actually what most of the MSU players have, but it's a funny thing.
They only get this Liz Frank injury.
Yeah, that's what we say.
No other schools. Professor, what was the last movie that made you cry?
What's the last movie I saw?
The Equalizer. 1, 2, and 3. Each one made me cry.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. Shed a tear.
I don't even want. I mean, there's so many and so recent and so frequent. It's just not. It's not.
Well,
good
just give us one.
Well, let me look at. Give me some Hoff for a second, please.
Hoff. What are you looking up? What you viewed?
Yeah.
I am the passenger.
Absolutely. I mean, fucking everybody masturbates. Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure I shed a tear watching The Life List with my wife a few weeks ago on Netflix.
She was laughing at you.
No, I'm pretty sure we both were. I kind of hide it. I put my hand up on one side of my face like this so nobody knows,
There is nothing more that you can show someone that you're crying than doing that, though. You might as well just stare.
Well, it's not obvious. I just want to make sure.
But if you're doing like this kind of whole thing, like, yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm like, oh, is he crying over there?
Yeah, I don't cry often. Like, I mean, the amount of times I've cried in my life, we're talking, Allen Houston leaves the Pistons, 96.
Yeah. Tough guy over here.
But it's just not an emotion that happens a lot. But
what?
Unless I'm watching certain.
You don't have any emotions?
No, I'm just saying that's not how my emotions come out. They don't come out in tears even when I'm upset.
Well, I'm not saying you have to cry all the time, but don't you see when you see something emotional? You guys watch a lot of that Hallmark bullshit.
The Life List.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not. So you're saying it's every day when you hear something sad. I mean,
or sappy, or
you were joking about Kobe's death in a helicopter earlier.
Fair.
I mean, Jesus,
that wasn't joking.
Cold blooded. All right, Jarrett. Who needs more luck to win a championship, the Tigers or the Lions?
The Tigers.
I don't know. The Lions too. I mean, injuries and all that shit. I mean,
but I feel
single game elimination. At least you're playing a series in baseball.
I feel like the Lions are more likely to be the best team in the NFL than the Tigers are to be the best team in baseball at the end of the year.
We were one of the best teams in the NFL last year.
Correct.
We got housed at home by the Commanders. So.
And had bad luck though. Horrible injury luck.
That's
Worse
what I
than
mean.
Usual. Yeah, but that's just bad luck. That you didn't. You needed no luck. You needed luck not to happen like that. What the Tigers need, because I think there will still be, even if they have the best record in baseball, there will probably be 2 to 3 to 4 teams that are, the odds will have them beating the Tigers in a 7-game series. I think the Tigers will need more good fortune.
Original Dark Mantonio. A few weeks back, you mentioned that your softball team got moved up a league and would get killed. I don't recall any updates, so how has your team fared?
Better than I thought. Yeah, we have not won yet, but we tied a game against a good team. And
any fights?
We're competitive. Last night we got down 9-0 in the first inning. I thought we were going to be no fights. No, I thought we were going to be in big trouble and mercied. And we lost like 13-8, and it was 10-7 at one point. So yeah, we're not bad.
What's the mercy rule?
It's like 15 runs after 4 innings, 10 runs after 5, and we played all 7 last night. So we were fine, 13-8, and against the best team in the league. So we're
it's all that diversity on the LSJ staff.
Well, at the LSJ softball team, I'm the only person at the LSJ on the team, which is pretty amazing. I mean, there are lots of people who used to work there. It's a lot of former people we brought in over the years who are ringers and former employees. But of actual people who are employed at the LSJ currently, I am the only one on the LSJ team.
So it technically shouldn't be the LSJ team.
We have jerseys and they pay the team fee, so we still call it the LSJ team. It gives us some credibility.
Smart. Original. You ask if Izzo knew about Carson Cooper shooting these threes at Moneyball. I was always under the assumption Izzo was at all of the Moneyball games. Is he not?
No, he is not. The coaches weren't even allowed to go to Moneyball games until somewhat recently. And now you see assistants there. But Izzo, I don't think has ever been to one. And so, yeah, and Cooper, I mean, he's been doing it at practice, so that's why Izzo knows. But, Izzo is – I've never seen Izzo at the Moneyball Pro. And if he's been there, it wasn't the day that I was there.
It's the American way, except America has gotten soft.
Steve, next. Of the recent Spartan basketball transfers, would be the most and least likely to attend Izzo's alumni grind week, and why?
So guys who left with a bad taste and or will never come back. That's a good question. Guys who've left and really, like there's a, I don't like Pierre Brooks. Like I don't. He went to Butler for a couple years, and I don't.
I thought it was all good with Pierre.
Yeah, I think Pierre over time would come back. Yeah, and Pierre's.
Hasn't he been back or no?
It's maybe
he come back for a game or
maybe I missed something. Yeah. I think even Xavier Booker. I think I think when you look at guys who are like just left, things might seem raw or whatever, but a lot of these guys do return. That's a really good question.
I think Booker, if he does well at UCLA, would come back.
Yeah, and I think he'll come back anyway. I just think his relationships aren't. It's not like he has a poisoned relationship. I mean, he worked with these guys. He lived. I mean, he's not thrilled with the way things ended or went for him at MSU, and MSU's not thrilled with the way things went either. But that doesn't mean they don't like the kid. I mean, I always really enjoyed talking with Xavier Booker. I think he's a good dude. I just, it just wasn't ready to be the player that he was hyped and they needed him to be and that he was paid to be.
Cara Lee next. On your episode right before your vacation earlier this month, you all mentioned a long-standing beef between Stout and Ebling. What's the elevator speech on the feud?
Love it.
A feud.
I love it.
These are two old guys in a Lansing market that have been doing it for way too long, and it's just fighting over sponsors over in the area, pretty much. I mean,
is that what it is? Is sponsor fights? You think?
Oh, I would suspect. Yeah. I mean, I honestly, in all the years I worked with Tim, though, like he never mentioned Jack once.
No, I think
I did a show with Stout 5 days a week.
I think the feeling is much more on Jack's side.
Like I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, like just to give, I mean, like when we were all doing Ebling's show back in the day, and this was right when Ebling started doing the drive with Jack Ebling, and we were on the radio, and it was me doing Tuesday. Retro did Mondays, I did Tuesdays. Yeah. Mike Griffith did Wednesdays. Rico did Thursdays, and Tom Crawford.
Prime Drive with Jack.
Did Fridays. But I remember that was like an exclusive deal we had to do with him. Like he was paying us, but I couldn't go on the huge. So it wasn't just against Stout, but I couldn't do the huge show for a while, which ticked off huge. I couldn't do like even appearances, like 15-minute appearances. And then the biggest one was you couldn't. I remember Stout calling to ask if I'd come on Stout on Sports and things like that, and I'd have to tell him I can't do it unless you're gonna pay me or whatever.
Hey, big guy.
Yeah, I felt bad. I didn't care. I'm not part of this feud, but Ebling was. But I always thought that whole exclusivity thing mostly had to do with Stout. It was like he wanted to make sure that we were doing the Stout show.
Because I don't know, I just always felt like, why would you care if you're going to have the same person on? If you do the better interview, people are going to listen to your show or whatever, right? Does it really matter if they go on Stout show or your show? Or
people will go, oh, he's on Ebling, like if Brendan Quinn does Ebling's show, that doesn't mean I don't want to have Brendan Quinn on this show.
Yeah, well, in 2025, nobody gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, right.
But I'm saying back 10 years ago, that even then, it's like, I don't know.
But I feel like Ebling's missing the mark by not doing like Twitter questions himself because some of his people might not be on Twitter, but the question about Stout would be a good one, and he could answer it himself.
Would he answer it?
I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers now with Mad Dog coming up. I mean, what if there's a whole reunion, Stout, Mad Dog, and Ebling? Holy shit. I got goosebumps.
Yeah. Be over at, what's the name of that retirement village over at, no, sorry. We'll take that out. Please take that out. Fix it in post.
Dude, Couch is on fire today.
I'm an awful man.
He's grumpy, dude. Mark Snyder next. How important are phone calls on sports radio? Mike Valenti gets upset anytime he sees a topic and then nobody calls in. He also uses that as an excuse why he can never talk college hoops except for tournament time. He still belly aches even then about call volume.
Yeah, we obviously don't do calls because most of our listeners aren't live. So the Groovy Donut
and they
Twitter
stink.
questions work better. What's that?
They mostly stink.
Yeah, it's just not. So the beauty is, if you have calls, it's rare random, and that's part of the excitement of a call show. If you like, I hate listening to call-in shows. I do not like. Now, occasionally you get a good topic that leads to a good discussion, but that's the whole idea of the Groovy Donut Twitter questions, or even the hot takes on Monday is that we're able to frame them, edit them, and put them in different orders to get the discussion we want and whatnot, and skip some if we need be and things like that. And yeah, it's just, I guess they're important. I think it's obviously a format that's worked for ages because people have done it, and the ratings all in every and lots of, but
no, they just feel like you have to do it. You have to talk to the people, and honestly, I think it goes 50-50. I think 50% of the callers can be good, informative, and fun. I do listen to Valenti occasionally when the Lions are in season. I like to catch up on the Detroit area stuff like that, and he does talk a lot of Lions, so I do like to tune in. But like you said, when some callers call in, you're just like, oh shit, but I know that you have to do that if you're doing a regular radio station thing on terrestrial radio. Yeah, you got to take certain calls. So.
And you I think
Detroit's a big enough market where you can get enough to where they're going to be at least decent, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is, you sort of, what you talk about, it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So, Mike Valenti doesn't talk college hoops, so people don't look to him for college hoops, so he doesn't have that audience. People want, if you don't ever talk about something, like if all of a sudden we just started talking only about Michigan football on the show instead of Michigan State,
oh God,
we wouldn't have, the audience would be like, what the fuck's that? We don't want, so that wouldn't be the audience, or only about soccer, it would, this is not a good analogy. Let's move on.
Mark Snyder, have you attended Media Day in Vegas? And A, where would you like to stay on the Strip? And B, where would the LSJ's budget allow you to stay?
Had you attended? Yeah, no, it's next week. I'm not going to Media Day. I've stayed the Strip sometimes isn't that expensive. I haven't been there in a little while. Like I've stayed at Bally's before, but I would probably stay at a Marriott property. And the LSJ's, they trust me. I wouldn't overdo it. They if you're going for, you try and get it in under $200 a night if you can do it. But you're going to stay someplace safe and sometimes they have a media rate too at these things in like a media hotel, and the things in a hotel, and you try to stay right there. So that's where it goes. The LSJ is good about things. They don't make you stay in some seedy hotel long way away for to save $50. They've been good.
Mark Snyder, why isn't the Don Johnson Fieldhouse the permanent home for Moneyball?
Well, I think it's too big. It seats 4,500. The key to Moneyball is the vibe and the energy of the building. And Holt High School is big, but probably about as big as you want to get. It was great when they were at Aim High and there was a little smaller setting, but you had people standing around. The bleachers were packed. Like that was a really good vibe. Holt works. It's got air conditioning. It's a good place. It's good parking. But I think with Don Johnson, that's why there are other things going on there at times too. It's probably more expensive. In terms of the deal, and you keep in mind, like Moneyball, the Pro-Am is free for a viewer, for people going to watch, so you can't really have something that costs the Pro-Am a lot to book, and I think the Fieldhouse is probably not as inexpensive.
Mr. Benjen, greetings from Athens, Greece, not Georgia. And why does fan perception of MSU football seem to be doing a U-turn this offseason?
Hope you're enjoying Greece. It's awesome. Well, the last point I want to make on Mark's thing on the Fieldhouse too is I think they have after school stuff. They have a lot of stuff going on till 5 o'clock plus there too. They have programs for the school district and for so that might be as well. Why is fan perception change of MSU football, or does it seem to be changing and doing a U-turn? I think the June recruiting did a lot, and that's whether those kids actually end up signing and playing at MSU, who knows? I think the feeling that the new AD situation and the sense that there's, new energy with boosters, none of that has anything to do with what's going to happen on the football field this year. Not the recruiting, not the I'm talking about at least not this season. But I do think when it feels like there's somebody in charge that people trust right now, and they don't know Jay Batt that well yet, but there's a sense that this was a good hire and that the things that need to be done will get done. And then you have a decent recruiting month, which makes it, coincide. There seems to be just a competence at that. And so I think people are starting to feel a little bit better. And then things just ebb and flow. And it's a long off season.
Mr. Benjen, have you been following the NBA Summer League? Any Pistons takeaways?
Not like I used to that much. Ron Holland looked good in the one half I watched of a game. But no, not Jace Richardson. I've watched a little bit when he was playing. I mean, that's going to translate. He looks good, but not a lot of Summer League.
Benjen, what's the first program, insert Southern voice, that J.J. Batt will cut?
I love how we just read this insert Southern voice and don't switch to it. But could you do a Southern voice? Do you have a Southern voice in your catalog?
What do I need to read?
This
which one? What am I reading? What's the first program that J.J. Batt will cut? Yeah, you want me to read that? What's the first program that J.J. Batt will cut?
There you go.
What's the first program that J.J. Batt will cut?
It's no Aussie Jason.
I know. That one's more fun, mate. Oh yeah.
Or Michigan Man.
What is this? What are we doing here?
I'm just trying. Yeah, sorry. Mike Krzyzewski. Let's do it.
No.
Okay.
By the way, someone had a personalized license plate in the parking ramp down there. It said Coach K. I walked up. The first thing I did, I go, no, just randomly. Like, what is wrong with me?
I love.
First of all, who's Coach K?
Maybe it's that
personalized license plate. No, believe me, it's like a Toyota Celica.
That'd be a good move. Nobody knows who it is.
What's happening to Coach K? He's got a gambling problem. Why is he driving that?
It's a good question if all these sports last, if they're able to. I think what'll be interesting is, they're going to figure out over the next year plus whether the number of sports they have is sustainable in this model. And I would guess that J.J. Batt doesn't know that for sure yet at MSU. Because he's just getting a look at the books. He's just, with his group of people that he trusts and conversations with the coach, he's just figuring out. And this is revenue sharing is all new, and there are things that are changing with it by day. Like there's lawsuits about the clearinghouse that judges NIL deals. So how much more is this? How expensive is this going to be? How will that impact other sports? If a sport is to be cut at Michigan State at some point, you have to think about how much things cost, right? And you don't want to cut a sport that doesn't cost a lot. Like how much does cross country really cost you?
33 cents.
Yeah, it depends on scholarships.
Under $1.
I mean, I've always thought that they're not gonna invest a lot into wrestling.
Wrestling.
Why are they doing it?
I like the way you say wrestling.
I don't know. That would be if I was putting betting lines, I'd put wrestling on.
Wrestling. DMB Couch. What have you noticed about the J Batt era at MSU so far? Nice to have real concessions coming. Imagine if there were enough Porta-Johns available during tailgates. And from Brian, do you think he'll make parking spaces bigger?
He'll be out there like Kramer, in Seinfeld when he went out and he adopted a highway and he was riding along the road and he was making wider lanes. It'd just be Jay Batt at night with changing the space. If you make the spaces bigger, there are fewer spaces and it's actually less helpful for a lot of people. Or fewer spots.
But the people parking there would really love you.
That's true.
I mean, you have to look at it that way.
Yeah, I don't know what it'll do and what those concessions will. I mean,
but wouldn't it be great though if you're coming into a situation and you know that if you just do a couple things, people will absolutely love you?
Well, that's what. If I'm an AD coming in, I'm like, the thing I want to tap into right away is where are fan frustrations,
right?
And what can I easily leave that makes sense for me, that's going to make financial sense for us, and all of a sudden you've got people on your side. You do a few of those things, people like you. Because what you're doing is, this is what they call in politics, kitchen table issues, right? It's like you do things that impact their lives, people's lives, and they're on board. They think you get it, and maybe you do. And I'm not saying it's a fraudulent approach. I'm just saying that, yeah. And so
well, you don't want to overpromise and not come through.
That's true. That's
that's what goes on in politics.
That's my thing.
I was going to find out about aliens are real, and I just been lied to here.
Yeah. No. What have I noticed so far about the J-Bat year? I've noticed, and look, I have not even spoken with J-Bat yet, and hope to in the coming weeks here. But I've noticed that the mood has changed. That there is I've noticed there is a connection with boosters that seems to be reignited, or at least an energy there. I've noticed the fan base seems invigorated about it, and those are good things.
Mike Scott next. Is Aidan Chiles a legit NFL prospect?
Yes, because to be an NFL prospect, I mean, there are things he has to do to become an NFL player, but the tools are there. That's the first step. If you don't have the arm, and you're not, or you're immobile, or whatever it is, like you're really going uphill. So the things that he needs to be good at, decision making, and mostly a big part of it's decision making and reading defenses and things like that. That's stuff that we'll see if he does well. But at least from a physical standpoint, he's absolutely an NFL prospect. And what if Jamarcus Russell can be and I think the NFL's gotten smarter, but like.
Aiden, have they though?
I don't know.
Anthony Richardson. I mean, Zach Wilson.
Right. Aidan Chiles is going to be a draft pick. That just on talent alone, whether he's a guy who's a really coveted prospect will depend on how he does those other areas.
Bulky Bartakamis next. Last July, I asked you if Sam Levit or Aidan Chiles would have a better season. If I recall, you Graham couched it and said it could go either way. Now that we've seen each for a full season, does Chiles reach Levit's production/team success this year? I don't know.
I haven't looked at what Arizona State has. I'm a big Sam Levit guy. He's got that Elway look to him, or whatever it is. It's just the way there's a swagger to the way he plays. And I saw it right away at Michigan State. Thought he'd be really good, and it turned out to be the case at Arizona State. I think Chiles has a chance to have a great year. I do, and I think he's a second-year starting quarterback, third-year college quarterback, third year basically in a system. He's got a quarterbacks coach who I think is who's not the coordinator, right? So there's a little more really honed in teaching of him. I think he's got a chance to have a great year. I think Sam Levit's going to be an NFL player too. I think he's really good. So I don't know what he has around him this year. But I imagine if that program is – because, you heard their coach complaining about NIL and situations like that. So I don't know how much they lost. But if he's got any sort of weapons, I think Sam Levitt's going to be tough to catch.
Bottom line is I could see that game going one way or the other.
David Jackson next. Would you log on the Firekeepers app and make a wager on this bet, if such existed with pick'em odds? Who would you take and why? Higher quarterback rating in 2025, Aidan Chiles or Bryce Underwood?
Aidan Chiles, and I'd put my mother's house on it.
Damn.
Because he's a freshman. I mean, what people need to, and if Bryce Underwood's great as a freshman, then he is truly, truly special. But he could struggle this year and still wind up being special. You just do not see a lot of true freshman quarterbacks. And once in a while, you get guys who just have it, but who are pretty mistake-free and are really, really ready to go. Maybe he will be, but I'll take the guy who's got an NFL arm and good mobility and is a third-year quarterback in a system who's got, I think, good weapons around him.
Is Underwood still fat?
I don't
got an update on that?
I've not seen the latest.
Is he not fat anymore? Okay. Next one from David. Keep it in mind that a year ago, Baez and Torkelson left the lineup because they couldn't hit and were not on the playoff roster. How long can Meadows and Verling bat sub 200 and not only stay on the roster but keep playing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know about Verling.
Yeah.
But Meadows, I mean, they're going to try to wait as long as they can.
The thing with Meadows is last year he wasn't playing well, and then all of a sudden he was just amazing. Right. And he was the engine. He was the catalyst. And he's so good in center field. Now, they have depth a little bit, so, you might give them more days off. You're certainly not going to – you may pinch hit for them and do things like that. I think they want to give Meadows every chance, because especially since he started the year hurt.
And Baez was so bad. I mean, are these guys Baez bad, where you watch Baez and he's blindly cutting, doing the 3-cut strikeout? Torque was obviously, you could just tell something was wrong with him. So are Meadows and Verling those guys right now that were last year? I don't see that, but I think that they're going to give him some time to kind of work out of it. But yeah, I mean, Verling, I don't know. David Jackson, how many current NBA point guards would you start today over peak Isaiah Thomas? Who are they? Or should I say, who is he?
I mean,
fucking nobody. What are you talking about? Peak Isaiah?
Yeah, not many. I mean, he was and the point guard is different now, because like Luka is the guy who handles the ball, right? And so it's a little different the way the game is played. But like true point guards, like to me, Isaiah Thomas is still arguably. I mean, in Steph Curry, is he a point guard? Like, and again, current NBA, and he's not in his prime anymore either. If you count Steph Curry as a point guard, I would take prime Steph Curry probably over peak Isaiah. But Isaiah is in.
And Isaiah was a good defender too, right? These guys don't defend anymore, but
and he put his own stat like Magic. He put his own stats aside for the sake of the team a lot,
and his own health.
Yeah,
can you imagine? I mean, it's not even talking about the sprained ankle at 88.
On the list of
points.
Greatest NBA players ever under 6'5", Isaiah, Steph Curry, like this is a Mount Rushmore. He's on that Mount Rushmore, right? So like, but NBA point guards, I'd start over him. Boy, I don't know that there are any. I mean, but you're talking to two guys here who were 10 years older than the Bad Boys. Like we are biased as hell. Like it is, like Isaiah is how we learn to love
bias
the NBA.
Is aside though. Let's talk about I mean, come on, Isaiah is one of the best point guards of all time.
Yeah.
God damn, I missed that era. Parker Weiss next. Have either of you ever won any sort of raffle or door prize, etc.? There has to be a story worth telling with this question, or a time you didn't win and it still eats at you. # July topic.
Do you have something?
I never win the raffle or door prizes.
Yeah.
Like T won a Yeti cooler once, but it was like this, it looked like Michigan colors. So we gave it to Michigan fan Jordan. So that's the most recent one. Sorry, it's not a great story, but we just could not have it. We could not sit there and have that in the house or take it somewhere and plop it down. I mean, it looked like you plopped it down. You look like, okay, here's a Michigan fan. So we had to get rid of that one. But I never win those raffle door prize things.
I've won eating contests, but I've not won. I'm trying to think of it. I know I've won little things where yes, you won the raffle or you won the, but I have not won. A lot. There should be something. Is there one that eats at me? I mean, every time a 50-50 drawing happens and I don't win, I'm like, why didn't I get the right numbers? Why did the person give me different numbers? But no, otherwise, there should be a story worth telling presented by Midtown Brewing Company, but we just...
I mean, you could make one up.
We don't lie to our people here. Let's take a really quick break. We come back. More of your Groovy Donut Twitter questions. Couch in the Rube, our Friday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app.
Firekeepers Online Casino and Sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen, Bar, or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. Two amazing places with one awesome blended modern American-Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They've become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at gomuskox.com, where Couch in the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com. If you're looking for a relaxed vibe, great food, and an outstanding beer selection, Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing is your place. Enjoy their famed chicken and waffle fries, fish and chips, or any of their delicious burgers or salads. Midtown Brewing Company also offers 40-plus beers on tap, including ciders and seasonal offerings and daily happy hour specials. The spacious and cozy vibe makes Midtown Brewing Company a perfect place for a beer with a friend, a work lunch, or to watch the games on its big screen TVs. If you'd rather eat at home, Midtown Brewing Company offers a terrific carryout menu and free delivery on orders of $20 or more. Visit MidtownBrewingCompany.net or stop by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing for the Midtown Brewing Company experience.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Rube, our Friday show presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Answering your Groovy Donut Twitter questions. And if you're looking for an outing this weekend, I'm telling you, Groovy Donuts. It's a great way to start a Saturday or Sunday morning. Go to groovydonuts.com. You can place a pre-order or just swing on by either location, Lake Lansing Road and East Lansing, and also in Williamson, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. Brighten your week, make the people in your life happy. And then the other thing I do is sometimes I get 6 donuts, and then my wife and I will just we'll cut up a little of each and eat them like a buffet, a little buffet of donuts. It's the way of having 6 donuts at once without eating 6 whole donuts. A little nutritional advice here from me. All right, back to your Groovy Donut Twitter question.
Skylar Verdon next. I started betting on the Tigers right before this started, this 4-game losing streak. Why is the right move to continue betting on the Tigers until I make my money back?
Yeah, that sucks. I have had that happen. It's the worst because you feel like they've won 50 games and somehow you've gotten the 4 they've lost and you've lost. And it's, baseball's a long haul thing. To me, especially with the way the Tigers are, like I don't know how far above 500 they're going to be the rest of the year. So you have to think about that. What do you think they're going to be the rest of the season? Now, we had Chris Castellani on Wednesday's show, and you can listen to that interview, and one of the things he brought up is the idea that a lot of the teams beneath them are going to be trade deadline sellers. So they might have some easy series, some easier games, and maybe they've got a lot of good things ahead, but they haven't made those trades yet below them, and the Tigers haven't made trades to improve the bullpen. I don't know. I don't know if going to the Rangers right now I'd be on the Tigers or not. Reese Olson, if he's back in the pitcher that he was, that's great, but you just don't know that yet. I'd be apprehensive to keep. But as soon as I say that they'll win tonight, it's really a crapshoot at this point. I would be less inclined, though, to be on them.
John Naughty next. If the NCAA vacates Michigan's national championship, 3 years of wins and such, and concludes Michigan players knew all about the cheating, would that change dual Wolverine Lion fans' opinion of Aiden Hutchinson?
No, it's weird because you get Michigan State fans hate each other on Saturday, and Sunday everybody comes together for the Lions. At least the people in this state who care about the Lions. It's just.
Oh, you mean so like normal people?
Yeah, well, it also just speaks to how childish and stupid some of the rivalry stuff is because, and it's just I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying that people don't feel it viscerally. Yeah. But like as soon as somebody is on your side for your team and helping your team win, it's.
So you're saying there was people celebrating when he broke his leg?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
one person? You don't think there was one person celebrating?
Well, you're a real asshole if you're doing that.
There's no assholes out there.
Well, there are a lot of
Absolutely
assholes.
not.
That's a good point. Yeah.
On Twitter. John, what is the please give us Matt Weiss scandal pardons were Harbaugh's doing at the White House?
I don't know. I mean,
Harbaugh was at the White House?
He was at the White House. There's a story it was aggregated by MLive here. Took a surprise visit to the White House this week. The coach and his brother, they're in Baltimore. The Ravens' brother were both spotted exiting the West Wing. They didn't say what the meeting was about. Who knows? I don't know. I trying to get inside the brain of Jim Harbaugh is not something I really want.
Why wouldn't he be at the White House? Should be the question.
Yeah.
I would expect old Jimbo to be there.
Absolutely.
Max, next. Isn't there a collective bargaining agreement in baseball? I'm sure that the players in the other three major sports didn't want a cap, but they have one. Why don't the owners hold firm and demand a cap? With how high salaries have risen, I'm sure that fans of most teams, not in New York or LA, would be good with one. With a cap, the Yankees and the Dodgers wouldn't be able to buy everyone, and we might not have to worry about the loss of Skubal. As Sean Windsor pointed out, there is a $3 million difference between what the Dodgers and Tigers have spent per win this season.
If it gets to a point where the only way there's ever going to be a salary cap, and the baseball players union is the strongest of the players unions, and so I just don't think it'll happen. Because once that happens, you can never get it back. I think they would hold firm on that. The danger is when you do have some teams, and the Dodgers are taking it to another level in terms of their financial wherewithal. If it becomes where, fan bases resent it and check out because of it, if it ruins the sport. Now, the thing to this point, though, is I know the Dodgers are the best team, but there have been a lot of mid-market teams and smaller market teams to win World Series. And is it harder to sustain it over time? And I think that's where people get frustrated. But in Detroit, you ought to be a place you can do that. Here would be my thing. I would be careful about drafting Scott Boras clients. And I know he's got enough that maybe that's a dumb way of approaching it, but it would annoy the hell out of me the way he handles it if I was a team. And I would.
But what if you draft a player and they switch over to Boras?
Yeah, then that's tough.
I mean,
yeah, right. So I don't know what the answer is. Yeah, look, I wish there was some level of, if not a cap, some mechanism that, at least like financial fair play stuff like you have in soccer, or something that prevented the Dodgers from just doing whatever the hell they wanted as much as they wanted, but it doesn't exist.
Jackson M. next. In your career, who has been the best editor you've had, and how have they impacted the way you write? Personally, I love me some Barry Keel.
I too love me some Barry Keel. He's my direct editor, has been for the last most of the last 12, 14 years.
Is this Barry's burner?
This
Jackson
is
M?
Jackson M is Barry's burner. Yeah, no, I love Barry. Barry manages people well. He's good with ideas. He's first of all, he's a guy who's survived in Gannett for like 30 years. You got to have a lot of talent and skill. So he's been unbelievable to work for, and he's a big reason why I'm still at the LSJ. In terms of impacting my writing, that's a good question. I don't know if it would be somebody. Well, they're actually my executive editor now there, Stephanie Angel, early on when I started was, and the former editor. But
you say people don't know who Dave Mad Dog DeMarco is.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I've had some people who gave me some good advice in column writing. I had some people early on, I would say, in Kalamazoo that were helpful. In certain ways.
Did you win an award, or was this like an acceptance speech?
Yeah,
what is happening?
Sorry, let's move on.
This is your life?
Thank you, Jackson. We'll fix this in post.
Scott Yu, we know Cohen Carr is working on improving his elbow jumper and three-point shot. Where would you rate him as far as his ability as a passer? As he develops his jumper, how crucial does his passing become to find open shooters as defense gets more intense on him?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's a connector yet in terms of his passing. I don't think, he's not somebody who's a black hole. He's not somebody where that stood out as like, that's an issue. He missed that. He doesn't see that. So, yeah, it obviously, if you can create on the drive, which we haven't really seen him dish on the drive, and I don't know if that will be part of his game. I'm not as worried about that because he's not somebody who they need to be a connector. They need him to be a physical, ruthless driver to the basket and a capable shooter when the ball finds him. And but I don't know. That's a good. I mean, obviously, if you're a great passer, that's an unbelievable trait to have. That's why certain guys get drafted. It's why certain guys stay in the league. It was a big part. It's been a big part of Draymond Green's success. Is that the way he sees the floor and all that stuff? That would help Cohen Carr immensely over time. But I don't know it's not something I've paid a lot of attention to this point, and I don't think it's the biggest component that he needs to continue to improve on to become the player MSU needs him to be.
Scott, you next. I have asked in the past what are the best campus game day experiences in the Big Ten and settled on Madison and Lincoln. How is MSU viewed by others in the Big Ten alumni and or media as a place to visit as far as a destination?
It's a good question. It helps now that there are more hotel options around East Lansing because more people are staying near there. A lot of writers for a long time would stay out on the west side of Lansing near Horrocks and those hotel area. Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't a lot of stuff here. Well, a lot of Marriott properties. Let me be clear. There's only one.
All right, the truth comes out.
Yeah, if there's not a Marriott property, there's not a hotel. You just sleep in a sleeping bag on the street. But but it's a good question. I don't know where it ranks. I know some people do enjoy it. But I'll ask around this year and get a sense of that a little bit because I do wonder that myself a little bit. Where Lansing to me is home. East Lansing, I love this area. Madison and Lincoln are good choices though.
LMK next. Who coaches the teams in Moneyball?
They're not coached. I mean,
Rico Beard.
Yeah, they used to be coached. Like Desmond when he played, they used to have coaches and like Desmond who runs the league.
All right, guys, let's D up.
Yeah, and he played and coached. Well, you decide who's in the game.
Carson Cooper, let's shoot threes today. Let's shoot some threes, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you do?
Yeah, that's why they don't have coaches anymore. You just don't need them.
Scotty Green's El Camino. Do you care about the ESPYs? Typically a yawn fest, but I have to admit, Shane Gillis was funny as hell, and it was very satisfying to see them roll out that skeleton Lee Corso, knowing we don't have to witness elderly abuse on Saturdays anymore. Is that true?
I didn't see the Corso bit.
I didn't see it either, but I mean, does that mean that I thought that they're still going to shovel him out there.
No, he's just doing like one game and then that's it.
Oh, that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think he's retiring after one game. The
Gillis was funny. I didn't watch it live, but I did see clips.
Same. I saw the clips and enjoyed most of them. There's some stuff that
see, that's shocking to me. I didn't think that you would enjoy.
I like parts of Shane
Gillis.
Gillis is like anything. There are moments where you cringe, but also that's comedy.
Does Shane Gillis really bring us all together? I gotta say, I'm fully admitting that I did not expect you to say that you like Shane Gillis.
I like Shane Gillis.
Really?
Yeah. No, I find the art of comedy. Like I can appreciate even some people that aren't like my favorite or people that I don't necessarily agree with on everything. Like I appreciate that. Like I don't mind people pushing the envelope. I don't mind roasts. I don't mind things that get a little cringeworthy once in a while. I think people have to understand that's what somebody's up there to do. They are a comedian, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if I was a real big WNBA fan whether I would have loved Shane Gillis entirely in his.
Come on, that was a funny.
But some of it was fun, and you saw some WNBA people laughing.
I felt bad because I think he feels like he's got to apologize before he even tells the bit, or I didn't write this, or something like that. Like, just as guys that don't like I don't really like dressing up. He just looked uncomfortable in that tux.
But I liked it because that part of it is him meeting the audience where they are. Like to me, if you kind of can tell it's a nervous audience about you, and not everybody appreciates you. Sort of saying, we should have cut that one, or this one doesn't. Right. It sort of says this is an art. We understand that these are jokes that are pushing the envelope.
There is a team of writers that do write for so people get to put stuff in, I guess.
Right. And then he throws people under the bus when they don't do well. I love that. Yeah.
Oh my God, Shane Gillis bringing America together. Tell your people, Couch, that you can actually have fun and laugh every once in a while.
The problem is though, and this is what a lot of television has an issue with, is I didn't watch it either. I'm not going to watch the ESPYs, but I did watch the clips. And so what value do advertisers and other people actually get out of that? I didn't care about the rest of it.
The Megan Rapinoe one. Oh no, she's not a fun time? We're going to miss her? I mean, come on. Rapinoe is, Thomas, if you were collecting baseball hats from all of the MLB teams, which ones would you skip? I got a White Sox hat last weekend, despite being a division rival, but never planned to get a Cleveland hat. Too old for this shit, Thomas. I don't.
I love the
I feel
Orioles.
like if you're going to get them all, though, like why wouldn't you just get a Cleveland? Because you hate the Guardians? Or?
Well, no, if you don't like the hat, you don't like the logo. You know what I mean? Like if you don't.
But if you're collecting baseball hats from all of the MLB teams, I feel like you're going on a journey to collect these. Why are you? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, and I'm like anybody that I like stuff that's still the same from when I was a kid. Like the Orioles helmet hasn't changed really, right? Like I love that helmet, the white with the orange. I love the old Blue Jays. I love things that I recognized as the helmet when I was 12. I like now, and I think a lot of us are like
Blue
that.
Jays hats. That's a nice hat.
Yeah, it's a great hat.
Yeah. Matt C. Graham, can you figure out what the plan is on defense for MSU football when camp starts? Rossi needs to answer some hard questions, like where does the pass rush come from when they did next to nothing in the portal and the recruiting hasn't been there? Can the LSJ hire Matt C? I heard not only is he a great question asker, great softball player.
Yeah, now from the
he can help your guys' softball team, and then you could just fire him down there to talk to Rossi.
Yeah.
Huh?
Matt. Be like Joe. You want to have a conversation with the biggest dick in the media corps here?
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding.
Why are you pointing at Solari?
Oh no!
Hey.
No, oh wait!
Oh.
Hey, no, I'm just kidding, Matt. Your questions are pointed. So to your question, Matt, though, which is fair. Can you figure out what the plan is on defense? I mean, the plan will be he has a defense that he's run for a long time. The plan will be to run it like they did last year, but with success, right? I mean, that will be the plan. And so I don't know how you answer questions in camp. I don't know how you. I mean, camp is not like open practice. It's there's nothing that's going to be satisfying in camp. There's nothing that I would trust in camp. It has to happen on Saturdays, and it has to happen against high major competition, because we also saw a year ago there was a point where they were really successful getting to the quarterback, and then that faded away. Like we need to see it, when they start playing Boston College and then USC, like those games, it really matters that they can still get to the quarterback, that the pass rush is there. But until then, you can say what you want. You can say, and you may hear tea leaves that somebody's playing really well, or this looks like the type of player can solve this for them, and that's all good. You file that away, and you may write that, or we may discuss it a little bit, that this is somebody to pay attention to. But to trust that something's going to be there, and for him to have a satisfactory answer before it actually happens is absolutely impossible. There's no question. This isn't some pointed question on some scandal. Like they try. I mean, he's been a successful defensive coordinator who had a plan last year that only worked against lesser competition, and that's his plan will be for it to work this year.
Next one from Matt C. Graham, do you realize the way Michigan is covered, where every scandal is swept under the rug, feeds into the general distrust most people have of the media today? Speak up and save your profession, Graham. All that's needed for evil to prevail is good men to do nothing.
Yeah, man, I don't think Michigan has not gone uncovered. I think it's not been covered as intensely as Michigan State people would like.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
The question would really be, if you're not a rival of fan of Michigan, if you're not Ohio State or Michigan State, if you're a fan of like Illinois or Indiana, or not even, if you're just a person, like how you view that. Because the problem with being a Michigan State fan and have an opinion on this is you don't have any credibility. Because you see blood. You're out for blood. And when you don't see blood being drawn, you're like, fuck this, the media is soft. And that's a very biased way of seeing things. Now, I'm not saying that Michigan has always been covered with the critical eye it should be. And certainly Michigan has a larger contingent of fan media and people who are Wolverine.com, Wolverine Wire, Wolverine this, The Wolverine, whatever it is. Go Blue Blog Blue Blow. And so those people,
catchy names.
Those people are never going to cover Michigan with a critical eye, especially this stuff. And they're always going to defend Michigan because they're only doing the job because they're Michigan fans. It's the whole reason. And that's okay. That's their role. They're not hiding from that, but there's a large contingent of them. So you feel that momentum. The independent media, as it's supposed to be, the Detroit Free Press, Detroit News, M Live, be it The Athletic, if they're around any degree in that sort of space, national media, their jobs are to cover this. And I think recently there's been decent coverage of it to some degree. Now, I haven't looked and read everything, and so I don't know exactly what's been done. But in terms of the Weiss stuff and other things, I think there's been a decent. I mean, there's a sense that things could really come down on Michigan here, and we'll see.
It could go either way, right? Matt C. Jason, doesn't J. Nick in the Rube sound better for the show name? Just saying, LOL. Oh, so that would make you the Rube. I see.
Yeah.
Moneybag, do you think Wojo would have at least given the story a retweet if an MSU coach was sued for allowing someone like Weiss to coach in a big game? The bar is so low if you're giving the Detroit media credit because a rookie reporter with 250 followers wrote a story for the Freep.
So a few things on this. One, I don't know when. Let me look at Wojo's last tweet. Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Get some off.
I see the stars come out of the sky. Yeah, the bright and hollow sky. You know it looks so good tonight.
Pound the bushes.
All right, so he's been working. Sometimes you don't know if people are off or what's going on. Let's see here. We didn't get any.
I am a passenger.
Yeah. So look, I'm not here to defend Wojo. I mean, but in terms
of great defense, I have to say.
Sorry, in terms of the rookie reporter thing, a couple things to note. One, Twitter is important if you're independent media, like completely, like you're not working for anybody, or you maybe a Substack, or it still has some value. It has almost no value in legacy media types like the Lansing State Journal, the Detroit Free Press. Those are big platforms who get 95% of their audience another way, and it's less and less has anything to do with Twitter. If I left Twitter tomorrow, I like it because of the interaction with people, and I like it because we use it on the show. It does not drive traffic anymore. It just doesn't. And I don't know if that's just because Elon, when he took it over, and where things land and how often you see stories, and I don't know. But it doesn't have near the impact. It would not matter one bit if I got off Twitter in terms of our overall views and audience. And so when you have a platform like the Detroit Free Press, Detroit News, it doesn't matter if it's a rookie reporter or anybody else. How many followers they have is irrelevant. Like most people are getting to that story a very different way, and that person's job is to cover the situation. And again, would have Wojo tweeted it if it had been? I don't know. I mean, he certainly slants Michigan, winds up going to more Michigan games than MSU games. But I think one thing to note is Twitter is. I like Twitter for the sense that if you tweet something, it shows you're acknowledging it. But its impact is so little these days. It's just not real level. Most people are not getting their news on Twitter. Most people are not learning about things from Twitter. It's less and less all the time.
Moneybag, have you made any progress towards a sit-down with J-Bat?
I have not. Hoping to have one in the next few weeks here, or at least one with a group of us where you have some time to really get to know them and ask questions. And when that happens, I will write about it, and we'll talk about it here, and hopefully that'll be a good discussion. And there are lots of things to get to. And one of my favorite things about this show and favorite things about Twitter and the interaction with listeners is that I have a good sense of what's important to you. And part of that's from here. Like, the stuff with Connor Stallions and CMU and all that, especially the CMU component, on my own, because I didn't care that much, I don't think it was the drumbeat on here from people who were just angry about it that led me to look into it because nobody else was. And last summer and get the ball rolling on some of that. And but yeah, I look forward to that discussion. And I think, there's a lot of good stuff to ask and I'm, looking forward to getting to know him.
Matty B next. How do we know Malik Beasley's entire financial history a few days after his investigation is announced? But no one on the Michigan beat can be bothered for months about Weiss or Stallions, and Graham has to get 10,000 sources to run his story.
It was good work on the Beasley thing pretty quickly. Yeah, no, that was well done, and because there were records of things too. I think that's why the Beasley thing happened. Yeah, the person's just a better reporter than I am too. It's fair. Life is not fair. That the thing I'm taking away from this segment of the show is life is not fair.
Matty B, Herb Street called out some innocent Sports Center anchor for being too much of a fan on the air. Does this boob remember he sits a few seats down from Desmond Howard every weekend?
Yeah, I didn't see that, but that's not. seems a little
enough of Herb Street calling people out.
Yeah.
Listen, Herb Street, you do a good job when you call games. Just stop talking outside of that.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear what you have to say. Show us your dog, and then just don't say anything else. Couch on Fire, if this MSU football goes sideways and Jonathan Smith is let go, do you think MSU will regret hiring a second John Smith?
I don't think there will be a third if it goes sideways. And
that would be unbelievable.
It would be amazing if there's another John. We should look up and find out if there's a John Smith.
There's a few. I did look it up.
Did he? Okay,
yeah,
good.
There's a couple.
Couple good. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Couch on Fire, most important Tiger in the second half.
Who is it? Is it Parker Meadows?
I mean, it has to. I'm still the answer from before we took vacation, right? I think Parker Meadows is the guy, like I said, that everybody in the locker room talks about is a guy that can put us over the top, so we need him.
Yeah, I mean,
desperately.
There are a couple different ways to look at it. Like, Parker Meadows is the biggest variable, maybe, and that makes him the most important. You could argue Scooble just being a stop. Like, you see what happens the other day when he has an off day, and I mean, I was disappointed in the way they moved his start up a day so that he could start the All-Star game. I thought that was a bullshit reason to do it, and he didn't pitch well that day, and he didn't pitch well in the All-Star game either. What a waste of total fucking time. But the point being, like, you see what happens to the Tigers when they don't have that ace stopper that starts winning streaks, stops losing streaks every 5 games, and so you could argue it's just him. I mean, Riley Green's been great and all that, but I agree with you on Meadows because I think the Tigers' ability to reach a level where they're a really scary playoff team is probably requires, but it would help big time if he was hitting well.
Jay Riemenschneider next. Are the reasons Santa Ono got rejected by Florida the same reasons why you dislike Southerners and hard right conservatives?
I don't know all the reasons. From what I heard, everybody around here, the line was he was not somebody who stood for anything. He was very agreeable and just sort of worked his way up politically. I don't know if that's true. I don't know Santa Ono himself. That seems like a good way to put somebody down. A guy
named Santa.
Yeah, and I don't dislike Southerners. I dislike the South. There's a distinction.
There is.
I mean, I feel bad for those people. I really do. I mean, I don't.
I mean, technically, Mad Dog is a Southerner. He lived in Alabama for like 5 years. So.
And I have more conservative friends than people probably think.
Jay Riemenschneider. Jason, do you hate all kids, or is that you just never wanted to sire any? I definitely never wanted to sire any. I don't hate all kids. I love my nephew dearly. He's 6 years old. He's a tank, 60 pounds already. Kid's already got the stature and everything. I'm like, oh my God, please play football or basketball. I like kids, obviously that aren't mine. And my friends, Jordan and Sam, our friends, Jordan and Sam, they just had a little baby. We went and visited them on the 2-week break. I like seeing the baby and sitting down and having someone hand me the baby. And then I get up and we leave and they have to deal with the baby. I don't despise kids and root against kids.
Babies are hard not to enjoy when you have no responsibility with them. Because
even younger kids, because younger kids can be fun when they're not just annoying snot rat little kids, but when they're fun and they like to do fun things. My nephew likes to do fun things, so it's just great to hand the kids back and go, here, I don't want to deal with that. AQ next. Love the show, GC, but have to say Rube's grumpy ass show after show is starting to get old.
Oh man,
he might have to increase his MGs to tone down his constant bad mood. That clearly comes out on the show.
I have not noticed this bad mood.
AQ, I don't know who that is. I've never been in a better mood in my life.
Yeah.
I've never been in a better point in my life. So I don't know where you're getting that. If you can give me an example, but I'll take some more MGs, I guess.
Yeah. Huh.
I need an example. Are you a Savannah Bananas fan or the Bingo Card 2025 person? I just like those two things. So.
Yeah, I would not describe you as grumpy. That would be the last thing. I do not see. I'm way grumpier than you. I mean, that's
wintertime. We have great weather. I mean, life is good, man. I'm enjoying life. Hans Jurgen, is Jonathan Smith gone if MSU is 4-8 or worse?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that simple, but it would not be good. Like, again, I think the money is the big component. So why are they 4-8? Right? Are they 4-8 because he lost the team and everything? The staff, things aren't working, which obviously they wouldn't be. Or are they 4-8 because Aidan Chiles is lost for the season in week 1, Nick Marsh goes down week 4. You can see a scenario where 4-8 happens, and it's like, man, that was a snake bitten year, and you still owe the guy $33 million, and so you're not gonna, if everybody's healthy and you got players cursing at the coaching staff on the field and the whole thing's falling apart, then you'd have to look at things. I just think the record itself is because, again, the money, like if there was zero money and zero contract involved and Michigan State went 4-8 this year and you have a new AD, you would certainly say, well, then the reason would stand that they'd probably look in a different direction. But that's just not the reality. So it's the money component of that. You want to make sure that you don't have the right coach if you're going to make that move.
Hans Jurgen, if Cooper and Fears hit 33% of their threes, does MSU win the Natty?
It would help if and Fears hit more than that last year. He just didn't take many. So, I mean, the real question is, and again, that alone would not be it. Those aren't the key components. They need guys who can shoot, but there are other guys. I mean, I think Jeremy Fears raising his game consistently as a point guard, Cohen Carr raising his game, Jackson Kohler raising his game. These things are more important to that. Now, if Carson Cooper makes 23s this year and shoots 60, that would absolutely help, but that's not going to be why they win the Natty.
Hans,
I just said the word Natty. We'll cut that in post. I hate that
why
word.
is that offensive?
I just don't like the word. It's just national championship. You sound like a freaking 19-year-old bro, Natty.
This guy. Hans Jurgen, 10 years from now, if your role at the LSJ was reduced, would you leave or just collect a paycheck until 65?
Oh, if they'd have me, I'd just collect a paycheck.
Yeah, who doesn't want to collect a check
Yeah.
until 65?
Yeah, no, I would just.
Didn't Ebling try doing that, though?
It did not work. Yeah. The thing that usually happens, though, is that they reduce my role. That would be the beginning of them getting rid of me. So I don't think they would allow me to stick around. Yeah,
How would they reduce your role? Like, Graham, we don't need you covering Michigan State anymore.
Yeah, we're just going to have you do less but pay you the same, and they're not going to do that. They would be like, all right, your time is up.
Hans, what is your second favorite city in the UP?
Oh, God. I actually don't. Marquette is by far the first. Would it be Munising's okay? Sault Ste. Marie, maybe. I haven't spent much time there. I have to say the place I want to spend more time that I haven't been that could potentially be it is up at Houghton.
Jake Hawkins. There's some speculation that Nick Saban isn't done with coaching. Not that I'm expecting it or want Jonathan Smith to fail, but if Saban gets the itch to coach again, is there even the slightest chance he could return to Michigan State?
The man's getting close to his mid-70s. I just
say yes.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. No. Obviously, the J-Bat relationship, like Saban, if he was 10 years younger, I think would have been interested in Michigan State years ago. I think it's a job he looks like it wasn't finished. But first of all, I don't think he'll coach again. And I know the J-Bat relationship with Saban is there, but Michigan State has a coach. But obviously, the timing would have to be perfect, and the end. I just can't see somebody of that age being the answer at MSU.
Jake, we all know the offensive line is key to MSU having a winning season and going to a bowl game. Which of these O-line positions do you think matter the most? Tackles, guards, or center?
Well, those are all three.
Well,
give me
rank them.
Yeah, I'd say tackle. I'd say tackles are. Interior line matters, but
center is the most important.
Yeah, the Jack Conklin era really taught me if you have a left tackle, you have an offensive line.
Next one from the Hawk. Do you think Stanton Ramel can become the player MSU fans hoped for and be a very good bookend offensive tackle if he stays healthy?
I think they like him a lot. I think he's been very good, and so again, with the whole offensive line, need to see it on Saturdays. But he is one of the reasons that when you think about areas of concern for MSU, I think of the defensive line before the offensive line.
Next one from the Hawk. If you had a choice, which particular car brand would you like to see make a comeback? Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Saturn, or other?
Well, I'm wearing an Oldsmobile shirt today.
Very nice.
That sort of sums that up. Good Lansing
You saw
brand.
this question. You decided to put it on.
I did put it on. I was like, I'll put the Oldsmobile shirt on just for
I got to say, I miss the Saturn. I owned a Saturn back in the day. Those are good running cars. Those things can run for like 300,000 miles.
But an Oldsmobile is just a classic. It's a Lansing car. It's we were Oldsmobile Park. I don't know. Oldsmobiles. We need
Delta 88.
Need an Oldsmobile.
Next one from the Hawk. Thoughts about CBS' latest decision of ending the late night show with Stephen Colbert next year?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do they have to wait till next year, by the way?
That's a good question.
Why? You have a dead man walking on your air for another until next May.
And the timing of it sucked because it was right after he criticized their settlement with the Trump administration with Paramount and CBS. I hope.
But are people watching though?
Well, that's the thing. If it's not
Any of these
feasible.
late night shows. Kimmel, Fallon.
Well, you're talking to somebody who works in the newspaper business, so we're trying to hang on to shit here. I'm not against holding on to something that once was a good medium. But yeah, it's a good question. If it doesn't make financial sense, and that's not the way people are, I don't know. I don't watch Colbert, so I don't.
So couldn't Colbert just do whatever he does now and put it on the internet?
Yeah, he's not.
And more people will watch.
It was
put it on YouTube. No,
we were just talking about.
Who gives a shit about CBS?
We were just talking about the idea that Twitter doesn't. These platforms still have massive audiences. They do.
I don't see it. Is this like Jim Nance lying to me? Like 55 million people can't be wrong with Queen Latifah's The Equalizer?
100%.
Yeah. All right. Keep lying to me. Upper Deck Jerk Guy, what aspects of yourself do you hide from others? And how would your life change if you stopped hiding?
What do you hide?
Oh, is he saying you're gay or something?
No, just what do you hide most about from other people? What's your secret?
I really don't have it. On this show?
Just anywhere. Just in life.
I don't think I hide anything from it. I don't think so.
I mean, I share my food addictions. I
was about to say, what do we hide on the show?
Like crying watching Netflix rom-coms. I mean, I
think worse than your crying on rom-coms is the fact that you had a list of what you've been watching that you looked up, that you needed some haw for.
No, I was just looking. Well, yeah, I have that's fair.
Upper Deck Jerk Guy. Imagine you walk into a room filled with everyone you've ever met. Who do you look for first?
Oh.
I mean, did I technically meet John Daly? He just ignored me, so I technically didn't meet him. Damn. My wife, I guess? I mean, do I not have her?
Ron Banks, probably. Yeah. That's a very everybody I've ever met.
Ever.
Yeah. Ron Banks or my kindergarten girlfriend, one of the
Russ Eisenstein.
Yes, would be Russ.
Yeah. Upper Deck Jerk Guy, to wrap us up here. How do Amish girls know if it's a romantic candlelight dinner or just a regular dinner?
It's one of the great quandaries in life.
You're wearing pants.
Didn't think of that. Thank you. Thank you, Upper Deck Jerk Guy. Thanks, everybody, for producing our show and carrying us through this July. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate Groovy Donuts, and make Groovy Donuts part of your weekend, part of your, plans for any time. And just, look, it makes Saturday morning better. Stop by Groovy Donuts. Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, and also in Williamson, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. We appreciate our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino Sportsbook app. Download the app today. You'll notice the new revamped app, much more user-friendly, and I think it's a really quality product, and it's very cool that they did this. We appreciate Midtown Brewing Company. Great place for a date this weekend. Trivia on Tuesdays. Great happy hour specials. Great menu. You see Midtown Brewing Company's offerings on Facebook as well. We'll be back Monday. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.